Are you broke, tired of dropshipping, and looking for a new lucrative side hustle? This is creatine, by the way. Today I'm gonna go over 12 side hustles that require zero startup costs that you can literally begin right after finishing this video. And I promise I will not mention dropshipping or affiliate marketing. Let's go. This first side hustle I did a lot when I was younger, especially when I needed some quick and easy cash, and that is donating plasma. In addition to it being for a great cause, this is a super easy way to rack up a lot of money, especially if you take advantage of these sign-up bonuses that they offer. These sign-up bonuses can range from a few $100 to $1,000, so it really just depends on where you live. A quick Google search will show you everything that's available nearby, and usually the bigger the city that you're in, the more opportunities you'll have with different companies. To make the most money from this, you want to find different companies that are offering sign-up bonuses and then hit the minimum donation limit for each so that you can pick up sign-up bonus after sign-up bonus. Definitely one of the easier hustles because all you have to do is show up and sit down. Only con is that you do have to be 18 to donate. I stumbled upon this second hustle a few years ago and I've never heard it mentioned on a side hustle video, which really shocked me because of how incredibly passive this is. And this is going to be car advertising. You technically need a car for this, so if you don't have one, skip to the next hustle. This is the only time I mention needing a car. For this, you would go to a website and pick the company that you want to advertise. The bigger the advertisement that's on your car, the more you get paid. This can range anywhere from a small sticker to wrapping your entire car with an advertisement. You won't ever have to worry about the installation of the advertisements because they get professionals to put them on for you. Obviously, this is not great for car enthusiasts, but if you're just looking for a couple $100 every month for really doing nothing, it can be a great addition to your income streams. There are a few requirements for this. One, you need a car, and then you need a license to drive that car, and in addition to that, the car that you have has to have been made within the last 10 years. So it's 2023 right now. If your car was made between the years 2013 and 2023, then you're good to go and you can try this hustle. One final thing is you usually have to hit a minimum requirement of miles driven like every month. So this pairs amazing with other hustles that require you to drive your car, like ride sharing, food delivery, or product delivery. So let's say you wrap your car with something like Carvertise or Rapify, and then in addition to that, you're doing Uber or Lyft, or if you don't like people, then you can do Uber Eats, DoorDash, or product delivery like Amazon Flex. This is a quick and easy way to combine multiple side hustles at the same time. I actually used to do this next hustle while playing video games, definitely the easiest one I'm going to talk about today, and that is paid surveys. I will say this does not make the most money, but if you're just waiting for your game to load, taking a dump, maybe you're bored at work, this is something you can do in your free time and you really don't have to put a lot of thought into it. But because this is so easy, there are other hustles that you can combine with this. For example, house sitting. Websites like Trusted House Sitters give you the opportunity to stay in someone's home to take care of any pets or plants or anything that they want taken care of and they aren't around for. This doesn't take a lot of effort where you're constantly having to do something all the time, so pairing house sitting with paid surveys is a great way to really make the most of your time. If you really like animals but you don't necessarily want to house sit, Pet Sitter is great for you. Websites like Rover, Wag, Petbacker, they're great at first, but once you've grown a loyal audience with these websites, you can go ahead and cut the middleman. That way you can just offer up your rates directly to the customer and cutting out any extra commission that the website is charging them. Next side hustle, let's say you don't necessarily know what to do, but somebody offered you a random amount of money for a certain task they need done. Places like Craigslist, Porch, Talk Local, TaskRabbit, they all give you the opportunity to just do random tasks that people need done and they can't do it themselves. For example, let's say someone from an older generation doesn't really know how to use technology, so they submit something on one of these websites saying they need help and they'll pay someone to help them out. You'd accept the request, help the dinosaur, and once everything's good to go, you get paid. This is really random, but it really doesn't hurt to check the websites every once in a while to see if there's anything available that you could help out with. This is especially great if you're good at fixing things. So if you're a pretty decent handyman, have this on your list. This next hustle is pretty rewarding financially and mentally, and that is tutoring. If you're good with at least one thing, why not teach it? This does not necessarily have to be tutoring for school. Now, if you are a fellow nerd, feel free to tutor academics. But let's say you're really good at a musical instrument or a sport, you can also offer lessons to someone who might want to learn. You can use websites like Wyzen, Varsity Tutors, or tutors.com if you're interested in teaching academics, but if you want to teach maybe lessons for music or sports, word of mouth is definitely a great way to market yourself, in addition to using the powerful tool of today, social media. Since I mentioned sports, I'm gonna throw in a hustle that I initially didn't have planned, but reffing recreational games. This is usually always done either after hours or during weekends, so it's never going to interfere with anyone who's already working a 9 to 5. This obviously does require some knowledge for the sport you wanna ref, but it doesn't require any startup costs, so why not? Next side hustle is Etsy. Now you're probably thinking you need a startup cost for this, but you don't when you're selling digital content. So for example, if I'm making a thumbnail and I want maybe particles in my background, I can go to Etsy and download a particle package that someone has on there. It usually does take some time to create what you're selling, but once you have that digital content ready to sell, you usually never have to touch it again. So this can be a great passive hustle. Now I will say Etsy is a very popular side hustle that I see on a lot of videos. So it's a very saturated market right now. But if you have something that you believe is really worth selling and is going to stand out, try it out. The next side hustle is to create a niche related social media. And all you really need nowadays to start this is a phone. So if you're watching this, I'm pretty sure you have a phone. For example, you can create a YouTube channel in a niche that you're an expert on. So in my case, I have a bachelor's and a master's in accounting. I work as an accountant and I know a lot about finance over the years, so might as well make a YouTube channel about it because I already love content creation. But what if you're not necessarily an expert in a single niche? One thing I've seen that can make a lot of money is creating a review channel for popular Amazon buys. A lot of companies that are startups are going to reach out to smaller creators because they don't expect to pay them as much as the bigger ones. So even if you're small, you'll still be paid to review certain products. So in addition to being paid to review the products, you will also be paid a commission for how much of that product you sell, which is affiliate marketing, but I said I wasn't gonna mention that, so let's act like I did it. The one thing I will say about social media is that you have to be consistent. So if you are not enjoying the process and enjoying the grind, I do not recommend going down this route. Now I'm gonna mention 2 more hustles that you can start right now and you don't need to sign up for anything. Flipping free items on Facebook Marketplace. In my opinion, this is not the most ethical thing since you are reselling something that you did get for free, but it does help when you need the money to get the ball rolling on maybe another side hustle that does require upfront costs. This is pretty simple. All you need to do is go to Facebook Marketplace and filter on items that are going for $0. And if you're curious why it might be going for $0, it might be broken, so do your due diligence. Or there are cases where people just need to get rid of things. Maybe they're moving and they don't have time to sell. For example, if someone's moving and they have a decently sized item in their garage just sitting there collecting dust, they might need to pay someone to come pick that item up and take it away. But on Facebook Marketplace, they can put it for $0 and have someone take it away for free. So it's a win for the seller, a win for the buyer, everybody wins, but don't be too greedy with this. Another hustle you can do that will actually help you declutter your room is eBay selling anything you don't need anymore. You can use websites like eBay or Poshmark to sell anything in your room or clothing that you don't want anymore. Just make sure you do some research on how much what you're selling is actually worth. It'd be a pretty darn shame if you found a Pokemon card under your bed that you think is worth a few bucks when it really can pay for your next house. In addition to emptying out that old closet, this will definitely expose whether or not you are a hoarder. This isn't the worst habit to have, but it definitely does not help. However, there are some habits that as an accountant, I've seen ruin people's lives. To be exact, I have 7 habits that you need to make sure you are not doing. So if you're ready to learn more, I've got the perfect video for you. That is going to be it from me. If you have any questions about anything that I mentioned here today, go ahead and leave that down below in the comments and I'm going to make sure that I respond to you as soon as I can. If you're curious about any of the websites that I mentioned for any of these side hustles, I'll leave a link to them down below in the description. If any of this information helped you out or you learned anything new today, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. It really helps me out. I have another book to get back to, so I'm gonna leave you to it. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you next week and stay smart.